Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You've got to twist your words in every which way, because the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line, or does it curve? Some people don't clamp it, but that is absurd. We all know that the model dictates what you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change. Just got your local distance just out of range. That oblique is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain, and it's your ball and chain. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric proposition. That old ball will always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction, it's your addiction. That old model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Works really good with this guitar. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way. We all know that the model dictates what you do. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction blues. Model affliction, model affliction, model affliction, model affliction blue. And we are live. Welcome everyone. Feeling a bit off on Friday, so we didn't do the Friday show. We are back again today, though. A little bit of a different look on this sort of thing, because it appears that there's a few forgetful people, and like that cycle of things going round and round and round, and you're never getting anywhere. He's starting again, but it seems like there's a lot of people with some really bad memories. So it's like we have to really start again, starting again fresh. So this is, I guess, the lead up to the new Try Thinking thing.
Good afternoon.
Hey, Rob.
I'm really sorry I'm model afflicted, but it is Monday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the problem that we're going to go over, right? Is at the minute there's a short video, 14 minutes, that you'll have heard Nathan Oakley when he goes over to 24/7 in the politics server, talking about this group of people called GF6 or whatever, and they were TT6. And that's the conversation that we're going to go over.
I had a bit of an interaction with Jekyll. I think he's part of that whole crew.
Yeah, well, this
was
is
weird
Peter,
because he repeated back verbatim my argument. He he wrote it down or transcribed it as I was saying it, and then read it back to me like a creep. Anyways,
yeah, there's some weird stuff going on at the minute with this idea of people with arguments, and who has arguments and who hasn't got arguments. We've been talking for years about people not having arguments, whilst obviously making arguments. We've been making arguments since day one.
I did want to say something about your argument that I love. I said your argument in a Discord channel, and a mod lost his shit on me and posted a picture saying this ruins Bev's argument. I'm gonna post the picture for you, Bev.
Okay.
But we can get into it later, off air probably.
Yeah. Well, it might be the argument that we're talking about tonight. AI overlord. Yeah, I mean that's the guy who we're going to go over tonight. It's very weird, isn't it? I don't know what he's talking about. Crazy.
Yeah, he hates you for some reason. I don't know what it is, Bev.
Yeah, it's because we have arguments, obviously, and well, you
and you're pedantic.
Yeah, well, you'll hear tonight. But this is the main thing I wanted to talk about. Is that what sort of a group we are? We here are not flat earthers, right? Which I consider to be the biggest group of people. The largest group of people is the people that are joiners, plumbers, people working at supermarkets or whatever, right? People that just don't give
mechanics,
a shit.
Brake dudes.
Yeah. People that don't give a shit about the shape of the earth, right? People that aren't either globers or flat earthers. That I stand for the group of people that just live in reality. And that's all of the arguments that we ever make.
They come from reality. That's why we say there'll never be any arguments made from the globe side or the flat earth side to support either of their models, because they're not talking about reality. We make arguments, and when we make arguments from reality. That's all we're talking about, and all we ever have been talking about. It just seems that there's this group of people, we call them model afflicted, that imagine they're living within a dichotomy. Well, it's shown to be a false dichotomy. And still, the biggest group of people are normal people. People that these people call normies. Well, that's who we stand up for. We're the ones that can give normies arguments to deal with reality. And it combats both of these groups of people. Because at the minute, the flat earthers are going absolutely mental. And I don't know what for. The globe guys have just decided to go and hide for a bit. Because the flat earthers...
I'm living my best life, man. I don't know about the other ones.
Yeah, you may not be aware of stuff that's going on in the background. But yeah, I'm at the most free that I've ever been. And these guys have banned us because they can't stand the conversation. We've just been going around trying to tell them that they have flaws within their arguments. Both sides of this group, we're like a neutral party. We're fine with reality. We're fine with having the arguments that we've got. But yeah, fine with telling people that they've got really weak arguments and where their flaws are within their arguments. We've got some sort of somebody who's triggered in the chat. I would say that's a 24/7 guy, really upset with what we're saying. Can't stand the conversation.
I think it's someone like Price of Adam.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those guys at Butthurt. It might even be Crit, right? Crit and these people will sit in a room that we're all banned from, or we're not allowed to speak in. They'll talk shit about us. They'll also take all of the stuff that we've ever done as a group, the work we've done. You can go back through the live streams, the website. It's all documented. And when we started talking about this, these flat earthers that are in the chat calling us a cult, they laughed at us. Why would you need to talk about all of that stuff? Why are you talking about logic? Nobody cares about that. All we care about is the shape of the earth. So we went off and did our own thing. Now they've banned us from everywhere and taken everything. Now all they talk about is the stuff. Well, not everything, but all they talk about now is the stuff they got from us. And at the same time, we're not allowed to go in there and say, hey guys, you're getting this wrong, you're getting this wrong. That's not allowed. Flat Earth.
And the stuff you got right. Oh, sorry, Emma.
No, I'm just going to say Flat Earth does this thing where it scoops up other people's work, right? It can all everywhere. Eric DeBay does it. They all do it. They sit behind a computer. They scan for information that they think is useful, might help them. And they take it and present it as though it's flat earth arguments. It's not. All they are is thieves. And then they'll go into your live stream and accuse you of stuff. I just find it, I mean, surely then they're not so naive to think that people don't see it, right? Flat earth is a tiny little corner of the internet that nobody cares about.
Yeah, and we are fighting for normal people here. People that just live in reality. Everyone's seen how you get treated with either of these groups. It doesn't matter. If you engage in conversation with any of them, that you're sort of done for, because... Go on, sorry.
Yeah. I just, the projection, right? So you just look when they come in the chats, it's all projection. When you sit and hear them talking, they don't even see the irony in what they're saying. That their projection applies to themselves way more than it does anybody else that they're trying to label. It's just, I mean, it's the lack of self-awareness. I find it amusing.
Yeah, I mean, they're quite happy to to take the arguments, but they tend to produce them in a sort of like a pound shop version. It's not really what the argument is. They kind of steal bits of it and use bits of it and kind of claim ownership to it, but it's not really the thing. They're not really saying the real truth of it at all, really. So that's a bit of a muddle. I mean, there's a lot of them like Mr. Factoid. They're just, on the team. They're just being set loose and run around yapping and biting your heels, and that's generally what they do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they could get up and talk. And I mean, here you can come and talk here. Nobody's going to red mic you or kick you out. Come and say your piece if you got something to say. It's not allowed in other places, and when they set the rules and the way of engagement is combative, and then, well, it's not my fault. But they don't really have an argument. They don't have a like FED. They don't debate. They got no debate. They just shout at videos all day and claim they're debating somebody. But yeah, never mind.
Yeah, both sides take our good arguments and use them, and then don't give any credit to where they got the good arguments from.
It is. I mean, it is kind of. That's just what happens, right? With stuff, you can't stop that happening.
Was
but
predicted
I think,
as well, wasn't it?
yeah, it was predicted. But like, because we're in this tiny corner of the internet, and we're kind of outside and we're watching it all. We knew all this was coming. We've said it many times. They're gonna have to take what we've done and then get rid of us
Voice
so that
of
we
my
can't
conception.
correct them and all of that stuff. And it has happened exactly like we predicted.
Yeah, I think if they had any truth, they'd be able to, just openly, argue it, not bicker it, discuss it, and you'd be able to probe it a bit and and ask some genuine questions, and maybe one side or the other is going to have to go, oh, hang on, maybe I need to think about that a bit more. But it doesn't really seem to get to that. Yeah, and then they want to paint. Oh, I know. Maybe I pushed too hard, and I haven't played the game the way I should have played it. Maybe that's how it is. But
Yeah, there's no winning.
yeah, it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not in pain. I'm not angry. I'm not upset about any of it. I find a lot of it quite amusing, and but it does show. It just shows more emptiness. That's what's been interesting. Just revealed that there is less and less than I thought there was. And I thought there wasn't much in the beginning to some of the questions. And then you increasingly find that there's less and less as you ask. And nobody, painting a pictures, giving everybody a model, but said, oh, we never claim a model. There's pictures, there's images and stories and figures, and nobody's got a model. And then when you ask them about it, they say, we never said that. We don't claim anything. We haven't got a model. None of us agree with each other. We're all independent. What I say isn't what somebody else will agree with. And antecedent of the gas pressure is a container, but nobody wants to say there's a container. We never said that. Who claimed there was a container? Just stupidity, really.
it out for you guys so you can listen to this.
But what I would say, first off, is containment is like you require a container for containment as far as I'm concerned. So when they say I don't claim a container, well, you should. I would.
If it's a necessary antecedent means that which must come before. So therefore,
Yeah.
you are necessarily saying container.
Yeah, I have no problem saying dome.
Yeah, well,
But
that's
that's
what
me.
Nathan won't. He won't admit that he's actually making a claim of a container when he's saying it's a necessary antecedent, and nobody calls him on it. So he's like handing out a not that when he's saying
he doesn't want to
there's
say
already
dome
a
or
necessary
ceiling.
container because he knows he can't prove it. That's the problem, right? He wants proof of somebody else of something that he obviously can't have. Because he knows that he can't have proof of the very thing he's making a claim about.
Yeah, and his mask for the lack of proof is the way that he speaks and shouts and mutes people and keeps it all as if it looks as though he's the one in the right. It's only his voice because he knows he doesn't have an answer. You know, and maybe I pushed him to some places where he's had to say, "Oh well, you know, my sister showed me," and then, well, I can't remember whether she showed me. Something happened and I forgot about it, and now I never did it. My sister's done it, but now it's Johnny B, and just getting further and further away from anything to do with these claims, which is just seems quite ridiculous. It's
like every claim, though, isn't it? It's like he never
every
makes
claim.
any claim whilst making all of the claims and then reversing it back on the person that comes into the room.
Yeah, but that is the game. And I've heard not just him, but I've heard many people talk about that. You don't make a claim because except they said the Earth is measured flat. I think they've stumped themselves if that's because that is the claim, and then there's only silencing from there. And I've heard them say, the idea is to turn it round to on the globe for them. How do you measure the Earth flat? Well, prove there's no curvature then. Where's the curvature, mate? Where is it? I never talked about the curvature. I'm asking how you measured it flat. Well, where's the curve? If there's no curve, it's flat. And then you on the you're having to support something you never said in the first place. That's the thing. Always turn it round.
That's
You
the
never have
sophistry
to stand.
that's
Yes.
inbuilt into this
Yeah.
arena. Now, they've learnt that from the Globe guys. Because the Globe guys had to have a way of diverting all of the questions that they were ever asked. So all that's happened is they've just swapped sides within the argument. All the Globe guys have just disappeared. Like, where are they?
Yeah, I mean, there's I haven't heard a globe, a back and forth of the globe and a flat earther for ages of anything meaningful at all.
Yeah,
And
it's because there's no argument. It's been pointed out to both of these sides that they don't have any argument.
Yeah, I mean, I was in the FED after show today, and some of the things I say that actually, it shows what they're doing. Whether people want to see it, I may be edited to not look that way. And I don't care really how they want to portray me in a sense, really, but it's quite amusing. I made a joke that every time they mention my name, that Nathan has to pay me £10, and he just went on this whole rant about that I was lying. So you lied. I don't pay you. I said it was a joke. Didn't you get it? You ranted for 20 minutes now. And I said it was just a joke. And then Nathan was getting on about, so I don't pay you money then. I don't. I said, well, it's £12.50, but let's say cash. just pay me cash, you know. Yeah, it was just a joke. And they just took it so seriously, and then said I was a liar, and that's I'm so disingenuous. I came in here and I just lie all the time, and because they kept saying my name, they didn't want me to be there. I'm not. They didn't want me to speak, but they kept saying my name over and over. Well, that elder bear when he comes in here, and elder bear, you know. And I thought it was so funny listening. And that's why I just dropped in and said, you know, every time you
That
mention my
means
name,
you're winning, Elder Bear.
well,
That
you
means
know,
you're winning.
yeah. I mean, they've banned me now, so you know, according to them, I've lost. But yeah, you know, it's just some of the things you say. It just exposes the ridiculousness and the way they try to turn it round. So it's kind of talking about this. They're talking about somebody in 24/7 who was asking about the trigonometry question, and I wasn't going to go there, but it was a segue from there. And QE was saying, "Well, why did you change the subject?" So, well, you're talking about this trigonometry guy, but I don't want to go there because you know you've got a triangle, but you say you haven't got a triangle, and I said there's no point going there really, so I won't bother. But they tried to get me there, and and then tried to turn it into this something they wanted to talk about to try and make me look bad that that I didn't know what I was doing. They're trying to get me to solve a triangle with three angles. And I said, I'm not. That's not what I'm asking. I'm talking about your figures, your two angles and the straight line distance, one of the sides. You know, so that's a different question. And then they claimed to win. That I was so, you know, they caught me out. Oh, you did really well there, John. Well done. I love that. I love that. Ah, John, Neil. Hey, you got him, John. You got him. You know, it was ridiculous. And yeah, claiming this big win, and in the middle of that, poor old Lumpy came in, and I don't know, poor guy, apologized to them because he'd made a mistake that something Johnny B had said the other day, and he was profoundly sorry. He was saying, and Nathan said, and they said, "Oh, well done. You got, you know, somebody like that can come in with such humility and admit they're wrong." And Oakley says, "So, you know, it is measured flat, is it, Lumpy?" And Lumpy says, "Yeah, it's measured flat." Yeah, they
No
kind
way.
of, yeah, they messed his head up, you know, with psycho-religious stuff they played on him. I've listened to them do it. And he's been in a bad way. I think he's lost his job, or he's been in a bad financial situation, and you know, and you can hear it and hear him talk about it. He's talked about it. You know, it's not like I'm making it up. You know, and I've seen and heard him. You know, he's been in a difficult situation, and when he's tried to talk up, they've you know, played a religious game on him and get him to stand down, or you know, maybe he feels I'm not going to have the support of the people of this people. Maybe it's all he's got. This
Yeah, I
world.
think there's a greater game that they're associating everybody with us, and the
Mm,
name that we're going to end up getting is awful, and that's
mm,
what he doesn't want to be associated with.
mm.
I think
And
that's
it was so
the
sad.
game
Yeah.
there now.
And then I called him out for that. You know, oh, what you done? This is what you do to people. This is your rules. This is the way you made it. And I told you, I don't play. If you're going to chuck the rules out the window but try and lean on them, I'm not going to pay any attention. I'm not going to play by any rules, gloves off. You know, so don't ask me to respect fallacies or any of that stuff when you're doing what you're doing, because this is like dog eat dog. It's like Mad Max or something. You know, the way you're acting. Well, we've got all the rules. We make the rules up as we want, and we check. You know, well, I don't respect those. I just won't. So when they call on that, you know, and say, "Oh, you just come here to tell lies or this, that, and the other," and I think, well, no, you created this. You created this scenario. You made these. Try to claim rules, but live by none. I told them, you know, a few
Yeah,
weeks
this
ago.
this is logic, right? This
Yeah.
is very simple, advanced simplicity, but normal people. Just so to give people an idea of what goes on within this arena, we're trying to make it as simple as possible. And if these guys make rules, then they should live by those rules. We all live by common rules, social etiquette and the like. It seems that they get upset whenever you point this out. Don't even have to call them for anything, really. You just have to talk about it, and they get upset.
Yeah.
Like, really upset.
Really, really upset.
Yeah. Because some of the
Yeah.
names that they're talking now, right, they're blatantly calling people liars, and they seem free with that sort of thing. And all
And
it really
worse, yeah,
takes is
and
for
worse.
them to not
Yeah.
believe what you say. And that's enough for them to publicly call you a liar and not have to justify it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen mob rule. I'll see how that works. I've seen people, get attacked because a group of people have said something about them and they were innocent of something. And that's what's going on. And it can just be words. But it could get worse. There is, there are some evidence of violent outbursts in the community, but, well, yeah, it's the poison of the well. It's making everybody think that you're a bad person and you're silenced and but not by the people who are at the center, at the root of it, but by all the people who follow them and take their rules and are subservient to them. It's never one to one with Oakley and his claims that he makes and his libelous stuff and the way he can swear at people and act like he does. And there's never an account of that, an accounting, and all the people that enable him and stand behind him and cheer him on. He's just as bad. It's all right. People think, well, you're not addressing the argument, but for me, this is that community, if you like, that I thought might exist. Of course, it's a naive assumption, really. But these are the kind of people who think, well, we can't live with this lot. This is not the lot we're going to be able to live in a new world with, brave new world or whatever it might be, because they just act like this. It's from nowhere. Stuff that they produce from nowhere.
Well, this is, it seems like this type of, let's say, argumentation, but it's not an argumentation because it's sophistry. Modern sophistry has been built up. Even terms have been made up by this group of people. Like they have one. Earth curvature mathematics. Completely made up. Only exists within this realm of model affliction. It means nothing. There's no such thing. Complete fantasy. That only people within this arena are aware of the term, but nobody actually knows what it means. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's not something I think people deal with every day, something you kind of have to, become aware of, the mathematics of it really. And I'm not saying I am, I've got it all, some things have clicked again with me and I've been reminded of those things and I think, oh yeah, of course and you start to think in a different way and interact with your experience in a different way. And I don't think everybody does that. I'd gone to FED today to try and point out something to Brian that I'd thought about and thought he might need to really think about it. But well, I have to see how it goes. But
it's going to be harder and harder to converse. But do you want to get in?
yes,
We'll get into this
video,
right?
Go on.
And then because obviously this is going to lead to more questions.
Yeah.
As we go through this. Right, so this is, I can't remember why I was listening to this, but something hit me and struck me that when we were talking to Buster, we were talking about, we were on this idea that you build your own schema, right, a model, of whatever, you know, like your understanding, your knowledge, how you learn, your habits, all of that, it all placed within this schema. Call it your model, your life model, and everything is checked against that and whether it fits within that. And these guys were talking about a let me just check. I have to check my messages to see what exactly I said. They said embedded in your psyche. So that's what got me listening, because I'm thinking, oh, that sounds a lot like, you know, you placing this within your schema. So we started listening. Obviously, we do the argument thing. So you guys in here, and you hear that, and let me check the sound levels for YouTube. Can you right, I'm gonna record this.
Started it. National public retardation. I agree.
Up until the thingy bit.
What is the best argument for the Earth being flat?
Right, so that's some guy going in there. Voice might sound familiar, may not. Don't know. Just one of the guys, and he's in this thing. And now I'm only listening because of the schema thing. The psyche, embedded in your psyche, which, you know, like I have said, the thing, give me a child till you're 7 and, you know, I'll show you the man. That's what I think this model, that's where the model starts, and you add to it. You have that. So this guy asks, what's the let me say it again. What's he say? What's the best argument? Right, I'm going to record this.
Started it. National public retardation. I agree.
Up until the thingy bit.
What is the best argument for the Earth being flat?
Well, that's not going to happen, man.
What? This is literally called 24/7 flat Earth. I don't know. Maybe I've rolled up in the wrong fucking place, but apparently you guys think the Earth is flat.
Well, not all of us.
What the fuck are we doing in here?
Talking to the flat earthers. He's hyping NPR.
NPR was NPR.
Who cares about NPR? He asked you why is the Earth flat. How about give him an answer?
Yeah, give me.
Okay, so that intrigued me. Like an argument. It's the argument, because I don't know about these guys who got an argument. An AI overlord there says, "Come on, you guys.
He's a horrible person.
We're training you."
Well,
yeah,
calling
AI,
you.
AI said we're training
But
you.
he kept calling me friend while shitting on me.
Yeah.
Friend. Yeah. Oh, I got pissed. I had to leave.
Well, look, he's talking to his people here, and he wants his people to answer this guy, right? So, like, listen to this. This you'll love this. Listening from the outside, right, to these sort of things. So, I think one guy, call him Riggs, right?
An answer.
He's going to try and answer.
Ever been around some water?
Here we go.
I've been in water.
Oh, okay, so you've had water around you. Does the
Right. AI just sort of hand in somebody, like, explain to him how the Earth's flat? Did he issue some orders there, AI? Because that sounded like he's throwing a now old hoss. He's coming in.
I don't know, but it sounds like skeptical to me.
Here, hoss.
No, I promise you it is.
Yeah.
water around you show any similarities to the water ball that they've printed in textbooks?
So you're talking about the difference between a 2D and different dimensions? That's what you're talking about?
I'm asking if the water on Earth that you've been swimming in,
Yeah.
does that seem to comport with the water ball that's been hyped for a long time now?
I am not reading what you're putting down, my guy. So you're basically saying if I open a
next time
book,
you're around water,
okay,
perhaps just acknowledge the nature of it,
okay,
and then see if it matches up with the water ball that's embedded in your psyche.
See, so there again, you heard it again. Embedded in your psyche.
And by the way, he is reversing burden of proof because question was about argument for flat Earth.
Yeah.
And now this guy is asking if this water is for him is curved or not. This was not the question. Question was about flat Earth, not Earth being a sphere or whatever. So he's reversing argument completely.
We call it a subversal of like it's. But I don't know whether they know that they're doing it. They've just done it for that long. Nathan Oakley does it. These 24/7 guys do it. I think back in the day, the Globe guys didn't have an answer, obviously, because they can't. So the flat earthers made the answer up for them. So the flat earthers have basically made both sides of an argument that they now have to play out amongst themselves every time somebody comes in and asks them a question. And these questions are obviously difficult. But that's all we've been doing. We've been trying to point out to the flat earthers and the globe earthers where the flaws are within their argument. And they always take it badly. Rather than, just discussing the arguments, improving the argument, just getting rid of the bits that aren't needed, releasing the dogma. But yeah, he's basically flipped the argument round on him, and now he's asking this other guy. And the other guy just asked what's the best argument for the flat Earth.
Water ball
embedded in your psyche. It's sinking in.
Yeah, so if I think of a water ball, so not the...
This is what I sent you, Buster. Because like that,
right?
This is what
yeah,
embedded in your psyche.
Once you have that, I love.
Other people will incorporate.
Big enough.
Well, could you?
How big is the water ball that you're imagining? That's proper flat Earth society sort of shit, that, isn't it? That's fucking...
Be a little less vague.
Yeah.
Okay,
Since you're the expert who knows you're on a spinning water ball chasing a dying star, how big is your water ball?
See, look at that. How big is it? That's a full reversal, isn't it? AI.
Yes.
So it just sort of said, answer the guy. He had a question. Answer him. And what is that? It's just flipped it all the way round to say, how big is your ball?
Yes, and for that kind of people, when this guy obviously cannot answer this question, how big this ball is, because you cannot falsify it, so it's just impossible to answer this question. And for them, it is proof that the Earth is flat. So for me, it is just ridiculous. But this is how they think about arguments.
Yeah, it's the false dichotomy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's necessary that they have this false dichotomy, because then they can just flip it round and prove, obviously, whatever they want because of this.
Wait, so now we are talking about the Earth, if I'm getting that correct.
Yep. I thought that's what you were.
That's a typical subversal, right? Yeah. Completely turned it around. He said, what's the best argument for a flat Earth? This guy's quite asking him how big his water ball is.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, no proof, but just turn it around. Yeah.
Just a complete reversal.
We're asking about when you came in here.
No, my guy, you presented me with a hypothetical. I imagine you were trying to make an analogy of
hypothetical
why
have
the
I presented you?
water.
I asked you if you is it hypothetical that you've been in water?
Well, my guy, you're supposed to try and explain to me why the Earth is flat. You don't necessarily need to be relating to the Earth. You can
perhaps
use
you
a
could
hypothetical to explain your argument.
Perhaps you could explain it to yourself the next time
Okay.
you're in water.
Yeah.
You acknowledge the nature of water, what it's doing around you,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
It's
see if that
flowing.
comports. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Flowing to where?
It depends on the current underneath the water, and on top of the water, the
Okay, so we
direction
have
of the
currents.
wind.
What else causes water to flow?
I can imagine. Okay, that's about as far as I know. Like underneath the water.
How about a drop of Mountain Dew that reaches the sea? How did it get there?
A drop of Mountain Dew. What the fuck is Mountain Dew?
A dewdrop on a blade of grass in the mountains next to a stream.
Amazing.
It eventually may reach the ocean. Why?
You've convinced me that the Earth is flat, my guy. Congratulations.
Okay,
That was fucking brilliant. Right, so in his explanation of the best argument for a flat Earth, he's gone to a drop of Mountain Dew on a blade of grass. I mean, that's
near a stream.
impressive.
Don't forget that part. It's near a stream.
I wish
It has
I
to be
could-
near a stream.
I wish I could stay off mute and just laugh out loud every time I hear something funny, but I have to come over to my phone and unmute. By then, I've stopped laughing.
Right, that's terrible, isn't it? You know, like, this is what you've got. Some guy that's walked into this room with the experts of flat Earth, and he's asked them, what's the best argument? And that's it. Like a complete subversal of the question. And then ending up with a drop of Mountain Dew. I think it's fantastic, but AI is about to come.
Next.
That's fucking genius, isn't it?
Oh my goodness.
Holy
That was fucking brilliant. You know, fucking what? How you got a drop of water on a blade of grass in the fucking mountains? Like, that's 24/7, right? And that, no wonder he needs a proper argument.
Yeah, the grass blades on the mountain base.
Okay, I'll give you one, dude.
Here we go.
Please do.
Now,
I'll give you one.
don't everybody interrupt me with their gayness.
Right, okay, now this is AI overlord, right? Listen carefully. Tell me if you might have heard any of this before.
Right? You understand?
Yes.
I'm just going to give this.
Sure
Now,
thing.
it could be true or false. The propositions could be challenged. The premises could be challenged. Okay, let's just run this and see if it's a presentation of an argument. Okay, arguments aren't necessarily
Just see.
leading to the conclusions, because if you attack the premises, several will, as being untrue that support it, right? So that all being parsed out so that nobody has a heart attack. Okay, what Homeboy is trying to say to you is that the alleged surface of the Earth is covered in 70% water, and the nature and physics of water is to seek an equipotential surface, right? Lowest equilibrium. In other words, you fill a cup container with water, it's going to fill the bottom, and then the surface of the water is going to be at a certain level, right?
Right, so you fill a cup with water and the surface is going to be at a certain level, right?
What Homeboy is trying to say to you. Oh, sorry.
That was a good one.
So he's obviously thinking here that level is this vertical level to the height at which the water gets to. Right, which is a really bad understanding of what level is, right?
What I hear is a guy that's obviously young and he likes to use the terminology "my guy," but we also have another guy that's a bit older and he doesn't want to say "my guy," so he says things like "homeboy" and things like that. That's what I'm
Friend.
Either friend
Yeah.
or Holmes. It's always friend or Holmes, and then now it's homeboy. Yeah.
Yeah, but don't forget the 70% though. That's
Oh yeah.
I really want to leave my mic open, but I can't. But this is gold, Bev.
yeah.
Thank you.
I mean,
70%.
remember, this is the guy who calculated that the Earth is covered in 66.2% water from his aeroplane,
Yeah.
from a
But
flight
now he
he
said
made.
70%.
70 now, yeah.
Right, yeah.
So he's
And
not even sure of his
70%,
own.
as everybody knows,
Yeah.
implies 100%. 70% is 70% of 100%.
Oh,
So to say 70%, you know 100%. That's why I don't ever use that. Because I don't know 100%. I don't know that. And I'm okay admitting that I don't know that sort of thing. But anybody that does say 70%, they're taking on shadow giant words. Because they don't know 100%, but it makes it look like they do. Makes it sound like they do anyway. And so here we go now. He set that up, and now I don't know why he set that up. It's like a setup for level, but it's pretty bad, and it's not really a true understanding of what level is. He's managed to work on the vertical level.
Right.
So if the Earth is a sphere, that must be curved around the surface of the Earth in the manner in which they claim. However, if water is indeed flat and level, when at rest, obviously, then the Earth can't possibly be a sphere. So if you measure water to be...
Okay. So do you like that? If the Earth is a spherical object, P.
I did this to him, and this is where he lost his shit on me and drew those stupid pictures I showed you.
Yeah.
He said you can have level water on a ball. And drew that freaking picture, and I was like, you can't be talked to anymore. And then right after that, you showed me a video of him using that argument.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about to lose my shit
No,
again.
it's not though, Rob. You got to let us see if we can figure out what the argument is here, because he did say an if. So, but I don't think it's the argument.
I'm sorry,
I don't think it's Bev's argument at all.
Yeah,
I think we'll find out. I haven't heard this, but my gut is telling me this is not Bev's argument that AI is about ready to spew out there. But let's see. Go back to the if piece.
You want to go back and you want to hear it?
Yeah, the if where AI's talking about the if.
Necessarily just leading to the conclusions, because if you attack the premises, several as being untrue that support it, right? So that all being parsed out so that nobody has a heart attack. Okay. What Homeboy is trying to say to you is that the alleged surface of the Earth is covered in 70% water.
This is Homeboy that was talking about the mountain dew drop on the leaf of grass near a stream. This is what he was trying to say, apparently.
And the nature and physics of water is to seek an equipotential surface, right?
The nature and physics of water is to find an equipotential surface. Really?
It is seeking level, not surface. Water is not seeking surface.
Yeah, I know. How can the bit of water at the bottom be seeking an equipotential surface? But that doesn't make any sense at all, does it? Like all of the water, the entire volume of water can't be seeking to find an equipotential surface.
Yeah, it is going down. So this is nature of water being more heavy than air. It's going down, so it is seeking the lowest position on that surface, if possible. So this is what water and other objects are doing. They are seeking the lowest position.
Yeah, I mean, he's not selling level here, because I mean, I did have to apologise that that originally I said level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Well, that was to put forward this argument, you know, a water level tool, establishing a horizontal plane of reference. But obviously we understood that vertical level is how you measure the level of the water, like sea level is measured on a vertical datum. The elevations that surveyors measure are on a vertical datum. So that's like classed as a vertical level, different than the horizontal level. And it seems like, I think, the flat earthers and maybe the globe earthers have got confused between these two different meanings of level, how they're established and the like. So I think that's what AI is doing here. He's sort of blurring this within in the minds of people because it's already blurred. Clarity won't help.
Lowest equilibrium. In other words, you fill a cup container with water, it's going to fill the bottom, and then the surface of the water is going to be at a certain level, right?
See, the surface of the water is going to be at a certain level. He's definitely talking about a vertical level of the surface of the water. It sort of goes up and down as you're filling it. It goes up. It's on the vertical datum.
Right.
So if the Earth is a sphere, that must be curved around the surface of the Earth.
So there's his if.
Yeah. That must be. It like there's a
If
then there as well, isn't there? If then. If the Earth is a spherical
is a
object,
sphere,
then the
then
surface of liquid water at rest must curve. Because at rest is definitely in this argument, right? That has to be at rest. I'm talking about the argument on screen for anybody looking. But he definitely adds it in, like as though
It is implicit, I would say. So
yeah. Well, listen.
Manner in which they
otherwise it
claim.
doesn't make any sense.
However, if water is indeed flat and level, when at rest, obviously.
When at rest, obviously. So when he says here, flat and level, that's definitely a pleonasm. Because level means horizontal. So there's no need for flat within this as an extra descriptor. It's just a pleonasm used by flat earthers.
Then the Earth can't possibly be a sphere. So if you measure water,
then the Earth can't possibly be a sphere.
Yeah, you went back. You gotta keep going. Let's hear it.
I think that Earth there, that's Big E.
Yeah. But you're missing the flat part.
Nothing to do with the other soil part.
No, he does it. He doesn't he do it? Or did you go
be
back too far?
level and flat, using, let's say, a laser transit methodology.
A laser transit methodology. This is how he's gonna measure it. Let me go back and so we can.
Indeed, flat and level. When at rest, obviously.
If it's flat and level,
then the Earth can't possibly be a sphere. So if you measure water to be level.
So if you measure water to be level, says AI Overlord. And how would we do that, AI Overlord? What's the methodology we would use to measure water level?
And flat. Using, let's say, a laser transit methodology.
A laser transit methodology. What's he talking about?
That's obviously what he would do.
Yeah, obviously.
Right? Then that would validate that the Earth is not a sphere and is therefore flat.
There you
go.
You've got to do. You've just got to measure water to be level by some methodology, preferably, as AI Overlord says, with a laser transit methodology. And that, yeah, there you go, bish bash bosh. Get them funded.
Earth's flat.
Let's get it done. Yeah.
So if this is why I said it wasn't Bev's argument, because Bev's argument is not if water is level, Earth is flat.
No.
That's not Bev's argument at all.
No, the whole point of how these arguments work is what you do is you place your first premise, of which he put if the Earth is a spherical object, and this being a modus tollens, you just falsify that which your initial claim is. That's what these things do. Somebody makes a claim, and this is one of the ways that you falsify that claim.
Well, that wasn't the second. He made he attempted two different arguments.
Yeah.
I believe he was attempting one as a modus tollens and one as a modus ponens.
No. What
But
happened
he
was
turned it into a modus tollens.
the initial guy
not really.
asked, "What's the best argument for a flat
For
Earth?"
a flat Earth,
Right,
yeah.
so what he does is he then cleverly, or maybe not so cleverly, listened to some guy talking a load of bullshit about an argument that wasn't an argument. Then he came in with this, if the Earth is a spherical object, and tried to turn it around into a positive proof of a flat Earth.
But then he had another premise after that, didn't he? Didn't he have a separate? His other premise was if the water is level or flat.
He said, yeah, you could measure it flat level.
Yeah, and if it is, then Earth is flat.
Mm-hmm.
He said Earth is not spherical, therefore Earth is flat.
Yeah, you measure a water level to be flat. Measure it flat.
Yeah.
With another level, because I mean that sounds like a genius.
Or with a laser, whatever.
Always check
laser.
it with the lasers.
Yeah.
Poor guy. See, that's where this argument's different, because my argument states a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. Since you've referenced the surface of water being a curve, it makes sense for me to say that a water level tool establishes a horizontal, therefore no curve.
Because horizontals don't curve.
It's a simpler argument to present, but it doesn't prove the Earth's flat.
Oh, that's why he didn't like it when I brought your argument.
Yes, you got it.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But I love that argument, Bev. There's nothing wrong with it. He tried to tell me that your argument for the Earth not being a sphere was no good because spheres don't exist in reality.
Yeah, he's a practicing sophist. Yeah, and that's AI. But AI claims this as his argument, where it's not. He's changed actually the argument that's been simplified.
He didn't mind his P's and Q's.
Well, he's changed it around. He's flipped the order into yeah. I guess you could say he hasn't minded his P's and Q's, but there's some sort of validation that he thinks that's necessary for him to have to prove that water is level, rather than using the actual tool, a water level. Seems to be some sort of doubt.
He only disproved sphere Earth. So, but he says, therefore, it is flat.
Yeah.
So for me, it is fallacious, not only because he added redundant second conclusion that doesn't follow from first conclusion. And by the way, if this water level or whatever device he used, this laser or to measure something flat, so his conclusion should be straightforward that it is flat. So this Earth being not a sphere would be completely redundant if he has positive proof for that. So it doesn't work. Maybe he disproved sphere, but it doesn't follow that the Earth is flat because it is false dichotomy. And this is not the way how modus tollens work. Modus tollens is not for proving positively something, only in the case if you have true dichotomy, but this is not the case. So he disproved, let's say that he disproved sphere Earth, but he didn't prove flat Earth. And he should, with this flat measurement of whatever he thought that he measured, being flat, but he didn't.
Yeah, the conversation also started with, I think it was Manufactotum maybe that said, "Give me your best flat Earth proof," and we haven't got one yet.
Best argument for a flat Earth it was, and that's the best argument that the AI overlord could come up with, was a reinterpretation of the argument that disproves a spherical Earth that we made ages ago when QE was making his BS, his fallacious modus tollens. We said, look, that's bad because you've got all of these added factors in. Just simplify it. Make it as simple as you can. And yeah, they got upset that we knew what a water level was. It is strange, but 4 or 5 years on from then, this is where we're at. They have to forget that we've got this argument, that I haven't got it framed up on the wall the first time I drew it. 2019, I think it says. If the Earth is a spherical object, then the surface of liquid water must curve. P in the Q statement. I mean, everybody can go for that. Antecedent consequence.
Is there a capital E in there?
Yeah, that has to be, hasn't there? It's
Yeah,
anybody that takes that on takes it on as a big E.
It has to be, let's say, entirety of water and Earth, because if it was only about Earth, so this liquid part of Earth, that wouldn't make any sense. So it has to be this big E in this argument.
Yeah, this is it's a poor job that the best argument that AI can come up with for the flat Earth is a false dichotomy representation of one of our arguments. And it's weird, isn't it, that they've had to ban us from going over there, because no doubt if there was one of us over there, we might then be able to say, but that's a misinterpretation, AI, of that argument, because that just falsifies the spherical. Doesn't prove the flat Earth at all. It's not an argument for the flat Earth. It's an argument to falsify the spherical.
Yes, only.
Yeah, so be aware that there are a group of people that imagine they are leaders within a flat Earth community, that are fooling people within arguments. And it's not hard, really, because these arguments that we bring up are, I call them the advanced simplicity versions, that it's every argument made and simplified so people can understand them. I guess you could do this through all of the arguments, because whenever you do go and look at logic and they make arguments about people's dogs barking and stuff like that, I suppose if all men are mortal is a pretty simple way of putting these arguments forward. But what I think we've got here is certain arguments that you could replace that for people to understand how to use arguments within everyday life. And obviously, the flat earthers are going to be upset because they've been pretending that they've got an argument. They've been pretending that they've been debating for years now. Even Jaren and all of that, right? There's Discord channels and servers where they all imagine that they're involved in some great debate about some mystery about what reality is, but they've all forgot about what actually is the point, is that we all do live in reality. People fantasize about models and arguments that they don't actually have in order to make up these ridiculous things. But what's going on in the background is that these people are talking about us. They're bad-mouthing us as they're doing this sort of stuff. Cutting us out of the conversation.
It is quite funny.
Oh, hey, wait a minute, what's that?
It is quite funny, but yeah, that's exactly right.
So have I got my sound gone? Is that really low?
Yes, it's Sydney, very silent, very silent.
I had to turn
could
Elder up as well. Welcome back, Sydney. I've got some stuff with you on it, and it seems like you don't know. It's hard to work out what your role is in all of this.
Is this any better on my mic?
Yeah, that sounds
much better.
Yeah, no, I'm still trying to figure it out, but it's amusing. It's less maddening. But trust me, within 5 minutes ago, I agree with what you just said, and either way, I'll never stop trying to figure out my role because it's growing rather amusing to me. So, yeah.
Right, so basically what we've got here is a case of AI overlord trying to misrepresent an argument that he didn't ever really make, and he sort of misrepresented it, confused it as an argument for the flat earth.
This is
that's because they've changed up
24/7's
their
live
whole
stream.
verbiage. He's changed up his whole verbiage in the 1 year of in the 11 months on Discord. Him and Miggy too, actually. AI, and who I looked at a little bit differently than the rest, but not really, but he just spoke differently. And like he's changed up his entire, if you even want to call it an argument. I would have never heard that sentence about water seeking they would always say just level and flat. It's changed entirely in just a couple months, and I find that really interesting and rather amusing too.
It's not that
almost
interesting
like they're feeding him what to say.
Crit
too, which never
invited us over there, and I said to Crit, "Are you sure they're ready for us over there?" And I went over there.
Was that recently?
Made a few conversations, made a few recordings, and showed them a few arguments. They obviously took the arguments that they liked and dismissed the arguments that they didn't like. I don't know why, but yeah, we've got certain arguments that these guys both do like and then don't like, and we seem to have ended up being banned, whereas these guys have taken on these arguments, changed their entire script around.
That's exact, and I feel you should feel proud. I take pride, even though I'm sucky with my words. But Turquoise wants to say something.
Yeah, Bev, I also want to say, me and Sydney must be.
We're on a new level.
We're on kill on site.
Kill on site.
We're in the server in politics. We're everything.
I love it.
We posted an emoji in there. We're everything.
They got some new weird psyop military data analyst in there. It's just hilarious. And then I catch them making mistakes, and it's just funny. We can talk another time about it.
little
Yeah, I
meetings,
can't
if
hear
you like that.
Turquoise there in the background. He's it was hard to hear you.
Sorry, I'll come closer. Yeah, I just want to say we're on a kill on sight kind of routine right now, me and Sydney. They must have had a group huddle at some point. We just turn up. They see us, or they see us like if we type in chat, we just get kicked out of politics, and they were in the main lobby. That's how it goes. We don't even have to open our mouth.
Well, yeah, they don't like communicating with people. The flat earthers are touchy
Which
at the
goes
minute.
back to your point. Yeah. Well,
They don't like
it's
you
just,
pointing out the false dichotomy.
and even if I don't speak, it's just hilarious. I actually take it as the biggest compliment of my 11-month relationship with Discord as a whole. I've never been happier because I'm just like, well, way to prove my entire like not paranoias now, you dummies. But it is dedication. I got to give them that. But back to your point, Bev, it's like I wish I knew the role, but I guess they have one for me and him, and I guess it's just kill on sight. So I love it. I love it. So sorry, I'll let you guys continue. But
if anybody's listening,
I know, I'm sure somebody is.
No, yeah, from that server,
we know that they listen.
No, yeah, we just message the people they're talking to, and that'll wind them up a bit, won't it?
Right. Well, when I hear your overlap between servers, I can't say nothing, so that would just not be me. So I guess that bothers them. Yeah. Either way, it's all working out. It's all working out.
Well,
they remind me though, the flat earthers over there, they remind me a little bit of like the geopolitical climate that we're in a little bit, and like seeing leaders of of a few specific ones really, how they panic a little bit. And so in that way, I'm just happy about it. So you guys have a good night. Good to see you, Bev. Sorry to mess up your stream, if I did. It is pretty funny.
We're only here for arguments, right? To improve communication skills, and hopefully we're here for the people that'll end up asking questions. I mean, that guy that we just listened to went in there because obviously a flat earth room. So you go into the flat earth room to ask questions of this group of people that are flat earthers, but they don't seem to be able to field questions very well, which is a really bad skill to be teaching people, because they're all over the place now. These guys are the ones that consider themselves the authority on flat earth, so much so that they'll mute people that they don't want asking them questions. And like we say, I've been check out on Twitter, you know, it's been well documented. I am definitely a friend of flat earthers. I just help them try and improve their own arguments for when they're talking to anyone. But these guys, they're not trying to help anyone. I don't even think they're trying to help flat earthers. It seems a little bit selfish, to be honest, what they're trying to do. And that's not helping anyone, especially if you're coming into this arena to ask some questions to get some answers. In fact, I think it's a bit disgusting. And these guys have decided to cut us out of the conversation. These are the guys that have literally ended the conversation, not us. We're still here.
I think what you're describing, Bev, is actually an inability of flat earthers to argue with anyone or converse with anyone without making a positive claim. They had to make a positive claim. It's the weirdest thing, right? For the longest time since I've listened to flat earthers, and I was for 5 minutes myself one till I realized I was accepting a model that I had just left. Only it was a different type of model, but very similar. Like it was always, we're not making a claim, we're just debunking your stupid globe. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, right? Fair enough. Good. Modus tollens, let's get on it. And you've basically done the same thing with the argument that you have up above in the chat. But then someone decided that's not good enough for a flat earther, because if you call yourself a flat earther, shouldn't you have a positive claim that the earth is flat? In traipses the likes of Nathan Oakley and some of the guys over at this 24/7 crew, right? Now they've got a hold of a positive claim, so they say, of flat earth. The only thing is, they still say we don't need to make we're not making a positive claim about things like heights to the lights in the sky. When they have a right angle triangle that they superimpose on their flat earth. It's just the weirdest thing to me. All at once, not having a positive claim, then thinking that's not enough and I need a positive claim, to coming up with a positive claim of flat earth, and then denying any positive claims as it relates to the consequences of saying that the earth is flat and how you're quote unquote measuring it that way.
I would add to that if they have positive claim, they should have positive proof.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, modus tollens is not positive argument. It is negative argument. It is against something. It is not proving thing. It is only disproving. So this is funny that they are using modus tollens in order to prove
a positive claim. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So they
but
don't understand modus tollens.
Somebody told them that a modus tollens can disprove all spheres, didn't they?
It seems
that's
that
where
way.
they get that ability from.
Yeah, not only, but there is modus ponens. This is why they are not using modus ponens. It is positive argument. So modus tollens is negative. It is disproving, and proving is modus ponens. There are two. One of them is negative, disproving. It is modus tollens. And the other one, to prove positively something, is modus ponens. Why they are not using that?
I think because when they attempt doing that in their language, like I have never seen an actual argument with, to your point, paper, right, with the modus ponens with the P's and Q's. But as I've seen it, as they are trying to now make a positive claim about flat Earth, it's just loaded with fallacious logic, right? Because it eventually ends up with water level, therefore flat Earth.
Yes, it is non sequitur. Yes,
yeah.
Like this IA, this overload guy, that it is not a sphere, therefore it is flat. So this is just nonsense.
Right.
It's the unstated false dichotomy that these guys have established over years. They've made sure that any conversation in any of these rooms was either globe or flat Earth. So therefore establishing the false dichotomy. So anyone that does come along with arguments that expose this false dichotomy obviously have to be silenced. And that's why we're here today.
Yeah. Yeah.
But only because of their particular tactics in silencing these arguments. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be here. You know, if it was done and dealt with in a way that they were dealing with the arguments and we were shamed out of here for having bad arguments, I wouldn't be here.
It is interesting though that they have appeared to take what looks like your modus tollens against the globe and taken one line out of it, which is a water level tool is a water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane of reference. They don't reference the tool; they just reference the water level part. So in their mind, they've suddenly created something of a modus ponens. It's not, but they think that they have by just saying water level, therefore flat Earth. It's amazing to me. But no one ever said that they actually had logic when they claimed they had logic.
Yeah, if they try to do this modus ponens on both sides, so they are trying to do that, but they are creating affirming the consequent, because they think that if in modus tollens you are denying the consequent in order to deny antecedent, so they think that it works the same way in modus ponens. So they are trying to affirm the consequent in order to affirm the consequent. So it is
Yes.
fallacy, but
Yes.
it means that they don't understand this this kind of argument, like modus tollens and modus ponens. Because if they try, they are sometimes trying to use modus ponens, and they are committing this affirming the consequent fallacy, and they don't see that. They think that it is valid argument.
Is the point of these arguments that we point out, because the other argument, the one that comes before it in the series, is the one about the Earth not being flat. It just so happens that when they're talking about water level, they are talking about that vertical change of the water level in the glass, the height at which the surface comes to, that he explained as a level. So you can see they've mixed these ideas up in their mind, and they come to a false conclusion because of that. And that's only because of this schema that they've built up. And nobody's going to say much to AI because he's built himself up to be a figurehead within this community of, well, just bullshitters and liars, I'd say. Sophists, modern day sophists. And people should be aware of them. Don't know how many people actually will be aware of them.
I wish I had time to find my conversation, because this is a live stream of 24/7.
It was
my conversation my conversation with it must be recorded then as well. I should be able to find that, because that'd be a good one. I got somebody trying to talk to me. Sorry, I'll be back.
Yeah, so we're going to obviously these arguments, they're on the website. We've done them years ago. It's been well expressed. It was in order to help QE out, to show him how to simplify an argument, how proper logic works, especially the form of the argument. You want to make it as simple as possible, using as fewer words as possible, and be as direct with your antecedent consequent relationship, and make it so it's understandable to people. That's true logic. That's a good argument. I sort of feel honoured, but the way he expressed this as an argument for flat Earth, he got that wrong. It's just not. Sort of what we've been telling them, that the Earth is not flat. But that's the bit that they don't want people to hear. They don't want to hear that these arguments, prove that the Earth's not flat. But hey, we just have to document it as it is. Let people know. I know there's not many people watching.
I just ignore you when you say that.
Well, I mean, the reality of this is, if you understand what we're saying. That means
Which I do.
You won't be able to go into these rooms. You will eventually get thrown out. You're limiting
I haven't
your
been thrown out yet.
conversation by bringing these arguments up and pointing out these fallacies, inaccuracies within their form. It helps you get a greater understanding for yourself, but you're gonna have to find new places to go and new people to talk to, because these people won't like it at all. But if you do want to come and talk, then on the level, it's still open. Although trying to argue one way or another for either of these models, I think most of us are done with that. We've got arguments that you'd have to get past first. These two being the two basic arguments, I think.
Yeah, these are the two arguments that expose the false dichotomy.
Yeah, and you've got to get past them, which they don't want to. Like, neither of the people within this arena want to even acknowledge both of them together.
That was why I said I ignore you when you say it's not flat. Sorry.
But
I thought it was funny.
That shows that if, at the heart of the understanding of the people who do say that the Earth's flat, if they get rid of the mountains, then they're literally finding some way within their internal understanding to be able to say that something that is obviously not flat can be called flat, which to me sounds ridiculous. It's sort of lying to yourself. You're deceiving yourself if you can convince yourself that it's okay to call a mountain flat, or to imagine that nobody's ever made that argument. So,
well, maybe give them a break. Maybe this, what AI Overlord was doing, maybe it was a rebuttal to Bob's modus ponens.
I never thought of that. That's possible. Could be a rebuttal to the modus ponens.
Yeah.
Well, they've ridiculed the modus ponens.
How dare they?
Yeah.
Well, they ridiculed you too, but here we are.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to be able to, if anybody is out there that wants to have a word, that is a flat earther, that isn't involved within this particular 24/7/FED flat earth. If there's still anybody out there that's not part of that scripted nonsense, then come in and let us know. Let's just have a conversation. Surely there are people out there that can communicate. Doesn't even have to be on the model exchange, because we're just going to talk about reality from now on. And the reality of this is that people have to be able to communicate this stuff. There claims to be that the Earth's flat. So there's got to be somebody that can communicate about that sort of stuff with people. Even how people are going to communicate. Because surely just shutting people out shouldn't be the correct course of action. I do have conversations. It's been well documented every time we've been over there. I don't know what why they consider us as bad at all. I'm at a loss personally. But it may be, and that's the way it is in the new modern society. That may be a tactic of flat earth, to be so bigoted towards people that say it's not flat, that they just consider people vile, horrible people that you can just libel, make comments about, and then nobody wants to talk about it. It's so weird. Anyway, I did have some other things, but I don't know whether it's worth going over anything like that. Might just call it a short one. Has anybody got anything else they want to talk about?
Well, I just want to. Was that it from AI Overlord? Was that all?
He does go on. Do you want to hear a little bit more? Let's see where he goes.
Yeah. I'm always interested in the logic of these kinds of guys.
Okay, so
Now,
you're basically.
hold on.
Sorry.
Go
You're
on.
not finished. Okay.
No, I've got to bow out for a second, but I just want to parse or set the table here. So now I've set a bunch of particulars, so now you can, ask questions of particulars, and then hopefully someone here will be able to answer. But hopefully that's a starting point. All right, go ahead.
Okay, so the first thing I'm thinking of, obviously I don't have a direct answer to this. I'm not a fucking scientist, but I'm just curious. Okay, so I would probably say it has something to do with pressure, I can imagine, meaning that from every single direction from outer space or within the atmosphere retaining to the Earth itself, there is levels of pressure that are being pushed.
Yeah, it's just the guy's rebuttal to it. You can imagine pressure.
From outer space.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just rebuttals.
Against the Earth, in other words, making water seem stable, or you could theorize that it is stable. So that takes care of Earth not flowing, depending on the rotation of the Earth. That would take care of that one, I think.
Flowing.
Or if not that, then you would think of gravity, considering that water does have mass, and therefore the center of the Earth would be pulling the mass of water towards.
Do you think this is scripted?
Well, I think the way he set the argument up, because it wasn't antecedent, consequent, conclusion, because it wasn't set up, in the traditional sense, this guy thinks that these things that he's saying is a rebuttal to what AI said. But yeah, it does. It sounds scripted, doesn't it?
It does sound scripted.
Yeah, but there is one flaw, at least. He's saying that gravity is pulling to the center of the Earth, so to the point. So point has gravity. In the center of the Earth, there is a point which is pulling everything towards it, which is complete nonsense, because this is not mass attracting mass. So he is misrepresenting gravity at the same time while using it.
Yeah, but that's what they do, isn't it? That's part of this, because that's how he thinks he can dismiss that whatever it was that AI decided to put forward. AI put forward a sort of an argument that he imagines was an argument, but wasn't really laid out in an argument form. And now this guy thinks that whatever he's doing is some sort of a rebuttal to that. It's a problem with the argument, really, isn't it? And how focused people are modern day.
Towards the center, as it does everything else, and thus you would have the effect of water, going down if there's less water, and then going up if there's more water. So that would take care of that. Then you've also got the shapeness of water, and we can perceive this while you can't see it in a glass of water. This all goes away when you increased distance. So if you were to be able to observe water at a further distance than the naked eye is possibly capable of doing, you would eventually come to a point where you would start to see the water shaping off, as in the surface of the earth. And the way we know this is because if you are looking at a distance, an incredible distance, using like some like really high-tech binoculars, let's just say, and you're looking at some really tall buildings, then eventually you'll come to a point where you'll see those buildings shape off, even though...
Shape off. That's a good one, isn't it? You like that?
Buildings. We went from water to buildings. Yeah. Sorry, Favor.
What does it mean, shape off? Please
it's made
explain
up,
me.
right? It's like terms and phrases that are made up within these arenas. I mean, people are always doing it. But yeah, that's a new one. Shape off.
Shaved off. I thought he said.
No, shape.
Shaped off?
Yeah.
Shaped off. Yeah, that's a new one for me. I don't know what that is.
But it'll be a
I thought he said shaved off from.
Yeah.
Usually from the top, you take some off the top, but he may be talking about the bottom. Take a little off the bottom. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just found it interesting. He went to buildings from water.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to confuse yourself, don't you? Within these two mediums.
Oh, that is.
Excuse me, I have to call tech support.
Go on.
I have to call tech support. I have to leave for about, I don't know how long, but I don't want to miss it.
Okay.
Pause the YouTube, Rob.
Well, no, I don't want to hold up the show because I got to call tech support.
Well, you go do it. We might
actually. You know what? No, I'll wait around for a bit.
We might not be live, but we'll still be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I can hold off for a minute.
Yeah, I don't think
I just want to finish this. If we're just going to finish this off,
because this is some guy's rebuttal, that we don't really need to be going over. The whole point of this show tonight.
Well, yeah, we've probably already gone over it 100 times.
Yeah, well, it's just to show that AI, when asked to present his best argument, had to come and save Riggs.
Yeah.
From talking about.
Yeah, by using a variation of the argument that I tried to go over there with, and he shit all over me. I really wish I had the copy of what I said over there.
Yeah, well,
I really want to find it now.
Because everybody knows that the whole point of what these guys are doing is to mess up everybody's understanding of logic. QE's done it, right? He's been...
Yeah.
QE did it, a fallacious conclusion, and it's still getting repeated to this day. They've got to know it's a fallacious conclusion. They've got to. Yet they think that falsifying one radius distance falsifies all of them. And because of that, people are now confused as to what an actual argument is. Because Nathan Oakley, to listen to Nathan Oakley and QE and the FED guys and the 27 guys, you'd think that they understood what a fallacious argument was.
Definitely not.
Well, they talk like they do, don't they?
Yeah, they sure do. They act like they know, but this is part of the problem, right? Is you've got my sense of it now is you've got three logically inept individuals having a conversation where they think that they somehow know what they're speaking of logically, and they don't. None of them. Not the guy that asked for a best argument for flat Earth. Not the first guy that that gave his total bullshit answer, and not AI who tried to create some logic around his bullshit answer.
So, yeah, although you may go into these flat Earth rooms, right, just be aware that they are shutting out people. They're locking people out for asking them questions. So, if you may feel inquisitive about these rooms, I'd say be careful. Because asking them the wrong question can lead to them calling you all sorts of things. And if you're not prepared for publicly being called a liar, or perhaps even worse, some sort of libelous claim about you being in prison for certain crimes, then don't even think about asking these questions to these flat earthers. Dangerous
Yeah,
people
flat earthers
indeed.
don't have the answers. Anyways, I'm gonna go for a while. I might be back in a bit. It depends on their tech support line.
Okay.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go.
No problem. Well, yeah, I think I'm going to end this for tonight. We're going to be coming back with all of these things. Like I say, we are in a state of flux at the minute, trying to work out where we go from here. Obviously, we are still preparing arguments and how to present them, but it's the audience that we're going to be presenting these arguments to. They're not, obviously, they upset flat earthers and anybody associated with this model affliction community. So these arguments aren't meant for that. They're meant more for people understanding argumentation, how to use these arguments within general day-to-day living. But mainly the lesson is to stay clear of certain people that imagine that they have arguments, but don't present them very well.
Did you see that we, before you signed off, did you see we had, I don't know if he's still in there, we had Sean Hawkins, the famous Sean Hawkins, in our
chat.
YouTube live chat.
Yeah.
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 Thanks for stopping by, Sean. It's great to have you.
It's because we did the Sean Hawkins thing. He saw his special.
Wow.
On Friday.
I mean, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, come in, Sean. Come and have a chat. I know Flatside's been treating you badly. He's been certainly making up lies about you. And, you know, I don't think Christian people should do that. Oh, hey, that's the point as well. Shout out to the 24/7 Flat Earth community. They are outreaching, doing some good work, and they are now part of the Islam politics server as well. So they're doing an outreach within this. Well, I'd say it's more divisive than anything, adding earth shape into religion, but they're following through with it. So they're making a outreach for that sort of stuff. So
makes sense. Have one religion reaching out to another religion. Yeah. Flat Earth reaching out to Islam.
Well, I think
makes perfect sense.
I think the flat earthers are trying to encompass all. The only one religion that they tend to have a problem with is this new modern science. They seem to be at war with the new modern science, but they're trying to encompass all of the other religions into the great religion of flat Earth. So good luck to them. And we will be back. We are doing the philosophy stuff, but I'm still trying to work out how we're going to sort all of that stuff out. Philosophy in the background. It's sort of personal projects at the minute, but there's a lot of that sort of talk going on. I don't know how we're going to incorporate it into what we do, but hey, all things are changing. In the Discord, that's the place most of this stuff is now going to be centered around. So if you would like to come in, and you'll get more of this sort of stuff, but just sort of within the Discord. People are a bit freer to be able to talk. So please do come in Discord. We're going to sort these arguments out, find them out the best way to do it. If there's anybody out there that knows anything about AI programs and stuff, come into the Discord and have a chat with us. I want to find some way to incorporate this sort of stuff that we've got, put it all together, package it all up. So just so that the flat earthers can't shut us out and start stealing all of the stuff that we do, pretending it's theirs by misrepresenting them. They're carefully thought out arguments in a careful series. They all follow each other, like true logic should be able to do. So if you do want to get involved in this sort of stuff, just remember, we are not flat earthers. We are not globe earthers. We are not model afflicted in any way whatsoever. We just live in reality. We just want to get on, and we want to be able to talk to people without them libeling us or slandering us, calling you a liar or whatever. Just communicate. If you do want to do that, come on into the Discord. We will be back at some point during the week. I don't know, times may change. I may just start going over stuff at some weird times. I've got a lot of stuff to go over, and I think it's only fair that we start telling the story about what we're doing here. If anybody does want to come and have a chat, that's where we are. Also up for any sort of other conversations. If anybody does want to try and take on the model that anybody has within their schema and how they develop it, personal philosophy, open up for all of that sort of stuff. See you later on in the week.
Okay. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You've got to twist your words in every which way, because the model will always dictate what you do. Everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Is it a straight line, or does it curve? Some people don't clamp it, but that is absurd. We all know that the model dictates what you do, and everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. Conflating curvature with elevation change. Just got your local distance just out of range. That old big key is gonna dictate everything that you do. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Model affliction, it's your addiction. Model affliction, it brings you so much pain, and it's your ball and chain. It's your decision defending the model position. You just don't know the geometric proposition. That old ball will always be illogical to you. That's why perpendicularity is a puzzle to you. Model affliction. It's your addiction. That old model affliction. It brings you so much pain. It's your ball and chain. And everybody knows that you've got the model affliction blues. Works really good with this guitar. Is it a hump or a drop? What do you say? You got to twist your words in every which way. We all know that the model dictates what you do. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction. Model affliction. Model affliction. Model affliction. Well, we know you got it, the model affliction blues.